Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a brand new, should I call it a little new show we've got today. As you can tell by the background, we've got a tier list. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got an absolute whopper of a video or a live stream coming up, and I am so gassed to be hosting this today. We're going to be talking about who Ange Postecoglou needs to get rid of, who we should keep, and just let's get straight into it, lads. Let's get straight into it. I say we just have it as a regular like this. Maybe this is probably better. I'm trying to find the perfect one. Now we'll keep it like this. Look at this. Bryan Daigle straight in there. Big up, Josh, my brother. I hope you are and your family are doing well. Yes, mate, we are doing well. We're doing well. We're back on it, streaming as usual. Gold afternoon. How's everyone doing? How are you, Bryan? Big up, Wayne Bono, who's joined us. Hopefully, everyone's having a splendid day. Let's say hello to all the Instagram people as well. Big up to all the lads who's in Instagram and joined us. Hello, mate, says Kits. Big up. Tottenham should get Mohamed Kudus. Get rid of Fraser Force to keep Austin. Donley, Tanganga, Roden, Hojberg, Royal, Davis, Matar, Sell. Big up to the lads. Big up to everyone here. Should we just get straight into it? I say we just get straight into it. The first one up there, obviously we got a couple tier lists here. We got Keep. If the price is right, Sell could go unknown, needs more time, and Sell ASAP. Big up to Harrell Fisher who's joined us. Tony up top in the summer. Big up, Fish. Big up, mate. Hopefully you're doing well. And yeah, mate, look, I'll tell you what. We were actually talking about this last live stream. If you think about it, I can name like five, 6 strikers out there that Tottenham could go sign in the summer, and the competition we have out there is you can tell that maybe we could maybe get a Tony. We might. Obviously, Arsenal are big competition, and they do have a bit of a more of a pool than us, but possibly. But big up to Bryan, Mr. 57 Screams lol, still struggling with health issues and Tottenham lol. But apart from that, okay, how are you? Hopefully Bryan's doing well. Obviously, much love to Bryan. Big up to Lewis McKenzie. Big up to Kits. Hey, hi, mate. How are you? I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well. Big up, Josh, says Jeppa. Thank you so much. I'm good. Enjoying the weather because it's not raining. Ha. Love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into it. Now, first player is Alejo Vélez. Now, for me personally, with Alejo Vélez, I think it's a hit or miss really now. If he goes on to a successful loan this year, in terms of the upcoming season, if he has a successful loan, he could do well at Tottenham. He could potentially be a really, really important figure in this Ange system. And after that, if he doesn't have a successful loan, I think you just got to get rid of him. I mean, it's such a shame. I think if the money's right, we should get rid of him next season. But this season, I think give him a loan. So I would stick him first one on could go on loan. I just think he probably is the right one. It probably is. It could be the right, the right keep, the right player. He's a decent striker in terms of how young he is. So who knows what could really happen with Alejo Vélez? Who knows? I just don't want him. I don't want him to just be at our club for no reason. Stam like literally just to be in our club just for the sake of it, because it just takes up room and it's not. It's not something we want. It's not something we want. Now, it's something that's with this other player we're going to be talking a lot. All the people on Instagram, by the way, you should also head over to YouTube to get your comments read out like this. Don't want Tony, but don't want Tony. Don't trust him. We can do better and set higher standards than we have. Well, Fish, mate, this is what Wayne's saying. He's saying he essentially doesn't want Tony. Interesting. I'd keep at least game time in Europe and domestic cups will do him good. I think he should go on another loan up because if you think about it, I doubt we'll be getting rid of Richie this summer, and we need to get another striker, so it will allow Richie to get more game time in Europe. So for me, he goes straight there. Now, Whiteman. For me, he's the type of player that has been at Tottenham for time. He's always been at Tottenham, but he's 25 years old. I look. There's nothing. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with him. He's our third keeper. You know, we can't really do much with him. Put him on loan right now. Is it going to help him? He's 25 years old. I think we just keep him. I'll be honest, keep him in the team. Velez is very potential. I think he needs more time in English Premier League. Fair enough. I'm putting Whiteman in the keep. In the keep. I think there's no reason to get rid of him. There's not a third keeper right now. I think that's much better than him. Obviously maybe Austin. You could say potentially Austin, but like I would personally have Vicario, Whiteman. Is it? Let me check something. How old is Austin? Because that will really depend. If Austin is much younger than Whiteman, then there's not really much point of getting rid of him. Let's be honest. And also fourth keeper. Look. No, they're the same age. They're basically the same age. Look, I don't really know. I don't really know which keeper we should keep. Is it Austin or is it Whiteman? We need a good quality backup keeper. So anyone we don't need instead of wasting space in the squad. Fair enough. Look, for me, Whiteman is a keep for now. We can't go and get the whole best players in the world in our next season. We got to compromise, and I think keepers we're kind of settled. I think we're kind of settled. Big up to Sonny who's joined us as well, mate. Big up to yourself. Head over to YouTube if you guys want for more content. Big up to Mape. Keep Austin. Look, I think for now this is how we're going to keep it. I think Whiteman we keep. Ashley Phillips. Now for me, Ashley Phillips, he's been decent. He's been decent. I'm talking about in his loan. In his loan, he's been half decent. It's been reported that the team wants to buy him. I forgot what team he plays at. He's at right now. Where is he at right now? Is it? He's with the Harvey White. I think he is. I think he's with Harvey White right now. Yeah, he's in Plymouth, Argyll. And look, they want. I think they want him for another season. Then the Championship. They just got relegated. I'm pretty sure. 21st in Championship. No, sorry. Have they got relegated? Is that relegation? No, they're good. They finished 21st. So I think he's had a half decent. He's had a half decent season in terms of playing. We got our good co-host here. Give me a little thumbs up if you're ready, just so I can so I want to bring you in. Okay, brilliant, awesome. We got here someone here to help me out, and I did not think anyone would be around at this time. So it's great to see that Josh is here. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Okay, let me get this. Big up to Josh. Yes.
Hello.
Mate,
How are we, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is my mic not here? Hold on.
All good. Well, look at that. We got Josh here. Hopefully he can set his mic out. Good. Perfect.
Good.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. How you doing, mate? How are you?
I'm good, mate. I just seen you were live. I thought I'd hop in and help out. It looked like fun.
Brilliant, brilliant. Love that, love that. Well, you're always on here, so you can come on whenever you like. Lads, come on, give some hello to Josh here. Josh, talk to me. Look, we're doing a little bit of a tier list here. Before we move on, so far, I know there's not much to talk about here, but two players here. Alfie and Vallejo. Alejo Veliz. Any changes you were doing that, or you keeping it like this?
No, I mean I think those are both fine. I feel bad for Valise because that loan move is just
Yeah.
we've absolutely dropped in a stinker
It's
there with who we've
weird.
loaned him
It's
out to.
really weird. It wasn't successful. No, it's
No,
weird.
I know. I feel bad for him, but if we sell Richarlison, maybe they decide to keep him for at Spurs next year, just see how he gets on. But and then Whiteman and Austin are like I heard you chat about the both of them. It's either or really, isn't it? They're both
Yeah,
trained, aren't they?
exactly. It's not.
Who's
It's
older?
not really.
Is it Austin that's older?
They're both. They're both. I think pretty. I think they're both born in 1995 and 1999. Sorry. So I'm just checking. Whiteman. Um, I, I, I was gonna say maybe we keep the younger version. You get me? Uh, Let me just
I mean,
see.
yeah, I think Whiteman's got a bit more first team
No,
experience,
no,
hasn't
no,
he?
no.
Obviously.
Whiteman is older. Not Whiteman's a year older.
Right. I thought so. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
Whiteman obviously played in Sweden for a bit, didn't he? So he's got a bit of first team experience, but
Yeah.
I don't really see why either of them would want to move, if you get what I mean. I think it's
It's
they're
not.
going to get a best like a championship move, aren't they, or like an MLS, which is where Austin's played before. So I
Hmm.
think they're both probably quite comfortable being back up, but we probably should get rid of one of them because if we're going to keep Forster, we may as well get
Do
rid of one.
you? We got a couple comments here that I just want to get onto. It's actually regarding what you said here. First of all, you just mentioned a second ago regarding that striker position. If we sell Richie, this question here with regards to Tony up top in the summer,
Hmm.
and then we had this comment here saying, who was it? This comment: we need a good quality backup keeper. Sell anyone we don't need instead of wasting space in the squad. Sell anyone we don't need. So he's basically saying in Europe as well. He mentioned it. Wayne mentioned here as well. In Europe, you'd want to have Alejo Veliz also for backup.
Hmm.
Essentially to have some game time here. He said, well, I don't know, some way he said it, and then Joel Fisher there beforehand said, what about Ivan Toney? Could you see a world where we keep Alejo Veliz and get a striker, and then have Richie as well on top of that? So we essentially have we got three strikers. Could you see a world that happens?
No, not when they're all there, because I do think. What was it? Was it Tottenham Tears tweeted earlier that Andrew's going to get three priority positions, isn't he? And I
Yeah.
think one of them was striker. Let me just double
Hmm.
check that. Yeah, centre back, midfielder, and striker. So they're definitely going to bring in someone in, and I can't see them bringing in a new striker and Richie staying because I think
Yeah.
he won't want to stay on the bench again because he's sort of coming into his peak years now, and it's just not really worked for him. As much as he's
Hmm.
had like decent spurts this season, it doesn't seem like he necessarily fits the system that Postecoglou wants. And he's actually looked okay when he come on. I thought he looked good against Liverpool, but it's one of those where I think it's a little bit too little, too late for him now. Um, I think Spurs will want to go back to sort of someone a bit younger that Ange can work with and mould a bit more, maybe with a
Hmm.
bit of a high ceiling. And then if you think about it, we're going to bring in a striker, so that's one. Then you've got Sonny that can play there as well. And then you're
Yeah.
going to have Valise or Scarlett because one of them's probably going to end up staying next year. There's just not room for like five strikers overall at the club.
Exactly.
Like it's just not going to happen.
Because you also got Werner as well. You got
That's what I
Werner.
mean. And I
You got
think I don't know if the
Johnson.
club's going to sign him, but I think I'd be fine with that. I don't know what you think about Werner, but I'd be fine if they bought him for the
Yeah,
fee
I
that we
mean,
get.
I wouldn't be too upset. Just you gotta understand in terms of what's happened right now against Chelsea, against Arsenal. We could really use a
Mm.
team of Werner. But look, let's move on to a couple more
Partly because there's
players
Solomon
here.
as well, by the way. Like
Yeah.
I just don't have any confidence that he's actually going to ever play for us at
Hmm.
this point because this injury just keeps getting worse and worse.
Literally. No, 100%, 100% agree with you. Now, sorry, I'm just trying to see what. Okay. Next up we've got Ashley Phillips. Now, what we're saying with regards to Ashley Phillips, we just talked about him a second ago. Um, he's in Plymouth with I think that's how you pronounce it.
Plymouth. Yeah, he's at Argyle
Plymouth
with
with
Alfie.
White.
Why can't Alfie Devine?
Alfie Devine, yeah,
Yeah,
Alfie Devine, yeah.
Alfie or whatever.
What we saying? I mean, I heard rumors that they want to, keep him for another season, or
Yeah, I've
potentially,
heard he's just had sort of an up and down season, but he's had some really good games and
yeah,
some not so great games. But he's quite a young player, isn't he? So that's what you sort of expect at this point still. But I think
hmm
he's probably done enough to get another championship move, which is probably the right move for him at this point. Considering
I agree.
Postecoglou again, it's come out in the media today. He wants another centre half, which would add,
So
which
where
would
are we
make
putting him?
four. Go on loan, I think. Um,
Yeah.
I think
Do,
that's
do you
fine for
reckon?
him.
Do you reckon we're going to be putting a lot of players on this can go on loan, type of thing?
I think we've got like a crop of youngsters, haven't we, that have just come through that like the I'm talking about like the Scarlet Phillips bracket of like those early 20s, like they're coming out of their teens now. They're either going on loan or they're going, if you get what I mean. So I feel like
Yeah.
those that bracket of players, yes, but I'm hoping that we don't have to send on loan our senior players again. You know how we had that phase of Ndombele's out every year on loan. Lo Celso's been out on loan most years. You know, I think it's time to move those senior players on rather than loan them out, which has got to be the big
Yeah.
difference this year.
Well, I can see a lot of players here, a lot of comments here on the now I just saw your comment, by the way, now, Josh, on Instagram. By the way, just come on here, you got the account as well. What's it called? So I can see a lot of players say needs another loan move, Ashley Phillips. So yeah, people are agreeing with us here. By the way, guys, smash the subscribe button, drop a like on this live stream. Now, next up is an interesting one. By the way, I agree with you here. Could go on loan for Ashley Phillips. Now, the interesting one here is Ben Davies. For me, I think it's a keep for now. Until we see a left back come in. I think what Ben Davies really provides us that we're lacking in our team is a Tottenham experience. I reckon if he I just feel like he has more. He's got a lot of fight for Tottenham. He's got the heart for Tottenham. Not many players in this Tottenham team really have it. Yes, the odd Vicario and Romero do have it, but even the senior players in terms of him and Son, Hojberg barely as well now really fight for it anymore. I feel like Ben Davies does fight for it. When he comes in, you know what you're going to expect. So I think I'm going to keep him. What are you saying? Until we get a left back, what are you saying?
I'm happy to keep Davies this summer. I think it's going to be a summer of like big change.
Yeah,
But Davies has always been one of those players that he's so happy to be a squad rotational player. He can play
yeah,
in multiple positions across the back line. He knows the club inside and out. He knows the fan base. He knows, what it means and what
to be a
is
Tottenham.
required of you to play for Tottenham. I think in a year that we're going to probably lose about 7 players, I think it's 7, 8 players they're trying to move on. You can't get everyone out.
Yeah,
And I'm happy with him staying for like another year, just in this transition period. I think he's been such a good servant to us,
100%,
and
100%.
he's
He's
actually
been.
been quite good this season. Like he's had a
hmm
really good season before his injury. I thought he'd done a good job filling in at centre half. You know,
Yeah,
bit not. It's a very noticeable drop off between Udogie and him at left back, but that's not really his fault. Like it's a
yeah,
completely new position basically for him to learn, and he's in his early 30s now, late 20s.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I'd keep him
Oh,
this year.
also, I feel like in the Ben Davies time, let's call it the Ben Davies time, whenever he's played for Tottenham, he's always been able to be able to count on. I'm sure you've
Mm,
heard me say this as well many times. That I compare him to Nacho of like Real Madrid. I
yeah.
compare him to those type of players that are just the Lucas Vasquez of Real Madrid. That they're happy to sit on the bench, and when they're needed to be called upon, they give in all they can do. But for me, I think we've got more problems to move on than Ben Davies. And yeah, so here we go. We got a comment by Wayne here, says that I can see Davis going in the summer. I mean, look, you heard what we were saying in regards to Davis. He could be going in the summer. He could not. But again, I think there's more important players.
I just can't see
Yeah,
anyone buying him either, if you get what I mean. Like, I can't see a promoted club like Leicester or someone like that trying to spending money on him, if you get what I mean.
yeah.
He's a solid player, but he's just not one of those players that I think people would be willing to pay for in the market right now.
It's
If you've
not
got
worth
him,
the
great,
cash in on
but
him.
yeah, I just don't think I can't see where he'd go necessarily right now.
Yeah, completely understand. Completely understand. Now, Next up, I think we kind of understand this as well. It's a keep for Austin. Do we keep Austin?
I think I'm pretty sure I heard on the Golden Guest podcast a couple of weeks ago they said the club were planning on it just because it's hard to move them on at this
Sorry,
point. I
sorry,
think
sorry. I didn't hear what you said there. Can you repeat that?
it was the Golden Guest podcast. I think they said about both keepers. I think they're going to keep both of them at the minute. I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's more Fraser Forster that they don't know what's going to happen with, but I'm pretty sure they're going to keep both. I mean, I don't really care. Like, it's
yeah.
not like they're actually, taking up active squad roles. If you get what I mean, they're not in the matchday squads taking up space or anything like that. And
100%.
going back into the Europa League, you know what it's like. You have to have so many homegrown players in there that you
Yeah.
can sort of just throw in as and when is needed. It's not really a priority, I wouldn't say. I think you can go if you want, but
Yeah, well, I mean, also something that's really important for me going to the summer, and I'm a big fan of this way of doing things. For me, it's first bring in the player you want, and then you sell
mm,
your player. I'm a big fan of that because you never know. I mean, you never know if you're even going to get that player. Um, isn't Davis working on his coaching badges with us? Yes, he is. Well, I mean,
yeah.
we
But both those keepers, by the way, I'd be happy to put them in like if price is right or loan or whatever. I
yeah.
don't care like what happens. Like
They're-
sorry, I just don't care.
let's do it like this. Like they're bottom of that list of
Yeah.
who we keep. But I think this next comment what we're gonna have, or next player that we're gonna have is Bryan Gill. Now give me your thoughts on Bryan Gill, what you're putting in, because I've already got a place for him already. What are you thinking of him?
I just feel bad for him, man, because he's just not going to ever be able to play in this league, is he? Like it's year 3 now. Like
Mm,
I think we're approaching year 3, and he's still getting shoved off the ball constantly. Every time he beats a man, he just constantly they get back in front of him. His end product hasn't been there for us when he has got in some half decent positions. Postecoglou clearly doesn't fancy him. No manager that's come in has really fancied him. I think that was one of Paratici's big misses, sadly. And I think it's probably
yeah.
time to sell him whilst he's still got some value before he's spent too long not playing. Probably back to Spain.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and again, this is something I'm going to repeat. You've heard me say this as well. I think we've got a lot of players that are suited for other leagues in our team. We've got
Mm.
the likes of Bryan Gill, who's a very La Liga player. He's like the most La Liga player you could possibly get, and he's 23 years old, so he still has a bright future ahead of himself. The worry is with getting players in first when we then go to sell teams will undercut massively. Yeah, yeah, Josh, what are your thoughts on
I
this?
mean, it's one of those. It goes both ways, though, doesn't it? Because if you then sell first,
Yeah.
the clubs that you're buying from know you've got the money. It's one of that. It goes either way. But
Mhm.
yeah,
100%, 100%. Gill was never given a proper chance at the club. Not enough game time, but he's got to go at last. Time to cash in, although they should have played him at cam. As a cam, okay. Interesting, interesting. Personally, not my favorite position, but fair enough. I think we're agreeing on sell. I
I
think
think
that's
it's
the most.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this one, I think let's talk about how influential he's been this season, and it's a Cuti Romero. I mean, how influential has he been this season for us in terms of keeping us in this Champions League race?
By far my favourite player at the club. By
Whoa.
far, it was in the first season he signed. He was my favourite player at the club, and he has been ever since. But I just adore this man. I've said it before, Josh. My secret kink is when a player grabs or kisses the badge when they've scored, and he does
Yep.
it every time. He does it when he tackles someone. He grabs the badge. I just love him. He just gets the club. He just gets the fans so well. Like he just understands what we're all thinking, and he
Mhm.
just thinks and feels the same way that we do, and it just exudes on the pitch. And he's a game winner from centre half because if we're struggling, he will go and take the game by the scruff of the neck, and that's so hard for a centre back to do. But he'll go press
Yeah.
the striker. He'll put the heavy challenge in. He'll take the ball. He'll be the one to make the progressive passes when no one else is, got the balls. Quite frankly, to try and break the lines, he's the one that will carry it. He'll go and do it, and you can tell he just exudes confidence to the defenders around him when he's on the pitch. And it's such a massive miss for us whenever he's not available, whether it's through suspension or injury. He is
Yeah.
I think he's been so underrated for his time at Spurs, and he's almost got it's because of his hot headedness at times, but it's not actually been the case that much this season. It was just that unfortunate that one televised game against Chelsea, he got done. in a challenge that other people haven't got done for this year, I might say as well. But he is excellent. He's one of the first names on the team sheet, and despite our terrible form recently and the amount of goals we ship, he's one that can hold his head high.
100%, 100%. And also, I think he is probably the most important player in this club, I would say, in terms of how he is. I mean, you could say Mickey van der Ven or Vicario is up there, but I just feel like in terms of what the club needs to be, it's Romero. It's literally
Well,
Romero. I feel like,
and he wants a team
yeah,
of Romero's mentality wise.
exactly.
He is
That's
an
all you want.
absolute animal in terms of his mentality.
100%, 100%. Now, next up, we've got Dejan Kulusevski. Sorry, do you want me to keep it like this, where they can't really see who's up, or should I like give it all?
Yeah, I think we may as well.
Yeah. Dejan Kulusevski. Now, for me, sorry, very quickly, keep Romero, give him the captain's armband. Been saying this since last summer. My problem with this, by the way, Josh, is that I would be happy to give Romero the hand, but the captain, 100%, I'll be happy with it. But what does it say to Son? Like,
Yeah, you can't
what
take it
does
off
that
Sonny. Like I'm also happy. I would have been happy for him to be given the captain's armband at the beginning of the
from the
season,
get
but
go?
you can't
Yeah.
take it off Sonny now.
I mean, yeah, I think that will when we see that happen, then we will understand. All right, now it's looking like we're going to be transitioning into a different period without Son.
Mm.
Mid Kulu signing. Well, this is who we got now. A bit up to Andy who's joined us. Hopefully you're doing well, mate. Thanks for joining the channel. If you're new, subscribe as well. Why not? Keep Kulu useful as a starter or as a sub. Big up to Dragos. He's in the comment. Big up to yourself, Josh. What we doing with Kulu? I mean, is he a
Is it
keep?
fair to say, do you think that he's the most controversial player at the club right now?
I think so. He's been giving some hit and miss games. No, is that fair to say?
It's I think Kulusevski's going through a bit of an identity crisis because he started the season on the right wing and he wasn't quite playing the Ange system. He was still trying to sort of cut in constantly and he was just struggling a bit. And we were saying at the beginning of the season, his performances were good. His ball
Yeah.
progressions were all the same as they have been, classic Kulu, but he just wasn't quite clicking the same way that he did under Conte. And then Maddison got injured, didn't he? And then Kulu had that really good run in the 10, which is the position that he said is his favourite position.
Mm-hmm.
And since Maddison's come back and Kulu's gone back out wide at times, he just looks sort of lost and that he doesn't really know where he should be at times. He looks like he's lost his confidence in taking on his man. His decision making's been slow and wrong most of the time. I think when Kulu first signed, his decision making was immaculate. There were opposition fans.
Yeah.
I remember the tweets saying that this man has a degree in decision making because it's never wrong. And this season, it just seems to have fallen away for him a little bit. But it's one of those where I think I would put him in needs more time because
Needs more time.
yeah, either keep or needs more time. I mean, I'm still a fan of Kulu, and I think he does offer something to the team, and he's such a
Yeah.
unique profile of player. I
Exactly.
wouldn't sell him yet.
Yeah. That's where I'm going towards. I'm going towards the fact that with the wingers that Ange has, and this is again one of my contradiction, the conflicts with Ange. I have a fight, of which wingers I think should start. Now, for me, the reason why I like Kulu is because he's such a unique winger in terms of he's so bizarre on the ball. He's a horrible dribbler. He's disgusting with the way he dribbles, but he's also quite nice. Like I like it in a way.
He's really
Like I like,
effective. He's not
yeah,
aesthetic,
he's
but he's really effective.
exactly. He's really effective. But then at times he just takes the piss. Like at times it's just so annoying. So like I think for the sake of it, if you're, for example, an opposition's manager and you come to the game and you know that the only wingers Tottenham really have is Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson, and they both just go down the line, then you know how to defend it easy. But if you got Kulusevski, it just gives a different type of dynamic to the game. So for me personally, I would say keep. What would you say?
Yeah, like I said, keep or needs more time. Whatever you think. I
Yeah,
don't think. I don't think it's quite last chance saloon, so probably keep. I think there's certain players
yeah,
that
I
are on
think
their last chance.
100%. Now let's just get to a couple of these comments. Josh, I think we loan Kulu because I think he has lost his touch a bit. Mm,
I just think it's like one of those where it's who do you loan him to, and then if he does well, he comes back in, but then he probably has the same issues of where does he actually play? Because you've got to
yeah.
loan into a club, and then the club have got to be able to say to the loanee, right, we want him playing in the 10 or we want him playing on the wing, and it's. And I feel like that will kill his confidence. I think if he has another sort of spell like he did at Juventus, where they lost confidence in him and loaned him to us, I mean, it could rejuvenate him. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was on loan to us that he sort of exploded in the Prem initially, and is the reason that he's here now permanently. But I don't know. I just think we're going to lose a lot of players. I don't think we can afford to lose Kulu this summer.
100%. And also, he's 24 old. By the time he understands, and also what like Josh said here, by the way, guys, if you are to loan Kulu, who would you loan him to? Which other team really plays the Ange style except for Man City type of team? Put another tier list category. Put another tier list category. I think for now this is it's half decent. Udogie. I mean, let's
We don't
just.
need to say
We're not
much.
even going to speak about him. Yeah. What? I mean, I've got a quite quick question for you in regards to Udogie. How did you think we would miss him this much without him? Because I will
I
hold
knew
my
we'd
hands up.
miss him a lot. I didn't think we'd be
I didn't
this
think that.
bad, but I knew we'd miss him a lot, but not as bad as it's actually been. But I'd argue he's proved that he's probably in our top 3, top 4 most important players to have on the pitch at all times.
Yeah.
I think he has I think when he's not out, we have statistically the worst points per game when he's not in the team. He has more.
Wow.
It's worse than when we don't have Van de Ven or Romero.
Mental. And that just shows how important he is to us. No. I
Oh,
mean,
completely. The system. There's no one else that can play the system from in that position like him. No one else.
uh,
He's unbelievable.
people are saying Udogie's been outstanding. Udogie is one of our most important players. So next up on the list, we've got Jed Spence. Now, this is going to be so painful for me to say this because I was also one of them fans who were like, get Jed Spence in, give him a chance. But I think for now, you just got to be up for it and say either sell him or give him another loan. I mean, what are you saying, Josh?
I think it's just time to cut the losses if you can. Like it's what is the
23,
point in trying
23
to
years
keep
old.
him? Ange clearly doesn't like him, not just as a footballer, as a person, evidently, but by the way he spoke about in
Yeah.
this press conference. And I think if Ange doesn't think you're the right person to be at the club, you could be unbelievable at football. But if you're not the right person, he doesn't want you there. And frankly, I think Jed Spence's media and the words that he says in the media are contradictory to his actions. You know, he says that Spurs fans haven't been able to see the best of him yet and that he wants to play for Spurs and that he wants to work hard. But evidently, it's multiple managers that said that he's not committed and in multiple loans as well. People forget he was on loan at Leeds at the beginning of the season. He didn't start with Genoa.
Yep.
So his attitude's been a problem pretty much everywhere he's gone. And I just don't think
It's
it's going
weird
to
though. You
happen
wouldn't
for him.
expect it from him, would you? It's just
Just,
weird. A youngster coming up. It's bizarre. I don't
yeah,
know.
I feel for him, but ultimately he's done it to himself.
Yep. 100%.
He's only got himself to blame.
Udogie's going nowhere. The club will either sell Spence or include him in a player plus cash deal. So looking like we're all agreeing on the sell here. I mean, it's so painful to put him in sell, but yeah. And now look, this one is coming up. It's a very interesting one. Emerson Royale. I'm putting him straight in that sell position. I do not want to see him play for Tottenham again. I'll be honest. I mean, let's not go as far as I was for Sergio Aurier, because for me, Sergio Aurier was by far one of the worst fullbacks we've had at the club. But I mean, what do you think on Emerson?
I've watched some crap at Spurs. Like I've watched some absolute howlers at Spurs in my time. He's
Yeah,
one of the worst. He's by
yeah.
far one of the worst. That defending against Salah, he looks at him twice
Oh my
and still
gosh.
loses him. How do you even do that? Salah, who's not even playing well, by the way, at the minute, who's
Yeah,
actually really struggling, is falling out with Klopp in the previous game. You turn around, you check your shoulder twice, and one clip over the top, and you've lost him completely. It's not like Salah
mental.
darts and then switches runs. It's not like he drops a shoulder. It's a straight run. and he
Hmm.
loses him. He's just not good enough on the ball. I don't think he's ever going to get better on the ball. He's not athletic enough in terms of that Udogie Porro level. His end
Yeah,
product is woeful. He can't invert. He can't overlap. He has his defensive uses in terms of if he just sat back and defending, he can be one-on-one sometimes. It's not his fault he's playing left back, by the way. That's
yeah,
Ange's fault. Ange saw him left back
100%.
the first time and he played in the second. That's Ange's fault. I'm not hammering Emerson for his performance at left back from that perspective. He's just not good enough. And
Yeah.
his ceiling is average. And
Yeah.
what's the point?
But I think there's a lot of fans out there. I don't know if you were one of them who said but play Emerson because he's a fullback. I mean, there's lots of fans out there who said that we should play Emerson left back in the meantime because he is a fullback. Now, for me, even the most basic fullback knows the understanding of okay, if there's a man that I need to be marking on the back of me, I'm gonna give him a couple looks and walk with him. I'm gonna run with him. I'm not gonna let him be by himself. It's simple things like that that I just feel like a basic defender could make those decisions that could ultimately decide whether we're going to concede a goal or not concede a goal. Now, Wayne here is saying Royale could be useful, but time to cash in and upgrade. I don't even think it's. I don't care if we're going to cash in on him. I'm willing to pay your team to buy him. Like genuinely, I'm fed up with him. Like honestly. Um.
And I think you can get
Now,
some money
yeah,
for him because didn't Saudi offer us like 20 in either January or at the beginning of the season anyway? I think he's
we'd take
actually
it.
weirdly one that we could get some money for. So
Not that
I
cheap.
don't see why not.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Um. Next one up is Fraser Forster. Now, it's not obviously this tier list is not based on what we think the club are going to do. It's our own personal opinions. Now, for me, I don't really see a reason why we're going to sell Fraser Forster. I think we keep
He's got
him.
like
I
a
don't,
year left, hasn't he? Anyway, they're
yeah.
probably just going to be like, I don't know what, see it out. He's injured
Hmm.
at the minute, but he's actually been okay for us when he has played.
Yeah. Do you reckon there's going to be a lot of these players that by this time next year, when we do this video or this live stream again, do you reckon we're going to be putting a lot of these players on the sell list, or what do you reckon? Just a
I
random
mean, players
prediction.
like Forster, they'll definitely be gone, like the older players.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this year is going to be a big clear out, and then it becomes quite cutthroat. I'm hoping after the clear out this year that'll be the last big clear out we have to do, and from then on it's
Mhm.
one or two in and out.
Didn't we have a big clear out with Conte? I'm pretty sure we were also doing a big clear
Well,
out.
we've had a bit of a weird time. We've managed to get players out, but not get rid of them. I think that's the
Yeah.
difference. I think we need to get rid rather than push it to the side, like with Ndombele. You know,
Hmm.
I'm done campaigning for that man. I'm sick of seeing players walk in and it's like a rotating door. They walk in pre-season, they walk back out before the season starts, rinse and repeat
Yep.
every year. I think this year's a summer of moving on. But a player like Fraser Forster, just keep him until his contract expires now. He's like a year left. What's the point?
100%. 100%. Look, there's a lot of players now that we're going to be talking about that they don't have that much time left in at Tottenham Hotspur. And you know what? Just keep him for another season. Like we said at the beginning of the live stream, there are a lot of players here that we need to get rid of, and there's head of the pecking order. By the way, guys on Instagram, now I know there are a couple of you who joined us. Head over to YouTube to be involved in all the chat and conversation we're having there. We've got a decent amount of following now that's happening around here. 23 people on Twitter who are watching us, or X live. Big up to yourselves. 25 people live on YouTube, and we've got a couple people on Instagram. So the 3 people, head over to YouTube so you guys can actually get involved with the conversation. Yeah, big up. All right, lads. Josh, let's move on to Giovanni Lo Celso. Now, this one's very interesting because fans are giving him. I'll tell him to, go on, come on, let's play him a little bit. And fans are saying no. He's done. What do you think? I mean, do you think we maybe need to sell him if the right price comes? I mean,
I
maybe.
think if the price is right, it's time to go. Like, I'm not going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, get him gone now. But if the price is right, yeah, move him on. If you can get some good money for Lo Celso, I don't see why not. Ange clearly doesn't fancy him as a starter, and I don't think he ever will. I think he sees him as too similar to Maddison to play them together, clearly. But I feel for him because there's clearly a player there, and he's shown it at times. but it's just not been there enough, which hurts me to say. But because I
Exactly.
really, really wanted it to work out for Lo Celso. I remember when we first signed him, I was really excited, more excited for him than I was in Ndombele, despite
Well,
the fact that, Ndombele was more. I thought those two were supposed to be the pivot for the next decade. And it just
yeah.
hasn't happened.
That
He
was
just,
that's
Ange
yeah.
doesn't fancy him. He can't stay fit. I just think if someone's willing, like someone from La Liga, one of his former clubs, Betis constantly say about how they'd have him back. He's been linked with Barca forever. If someone's finally willing to give us the money, I'm happy to move him on now.
100%, 100%. Like I agree with everything that Josh here said. I don't think there's need to repeat what Josh said. I mean, look, mate, I think with regards to the sales, the right price, you have to cash in, and his injuries are a big thing that's just
Mm.
it's not been great. It's not been great. Quickly, let's just go over to some of these comments we got on Instagram. So people saying Emerson needs to go. We have to win against Burnley 100%. We are not good enough for Champions League. I agree. And yeah, by the way, Josh, just a random question here. Tonight, obviously Champions League. Who do you think who you reckon is going to win?
I think Madrid will get it done. It's,
Yeah,
it's Madrid in the Champions League. It's the only time where I truly believe in football, like aura and history, actually just get them through it every time. That
yeah.
and Big Carlo Ancelotti. What a manager!
He's
What a
unbelievable.
manager!
How was he Everton's manager? I mean, that's
He got them
so
top half
bizarre.
of the table, so that's probably one of his better achievements in his career, despite everything he's done with Madrid and AC. But no,
Yeah.
I think Madrid will get it done. But I'm still rooting for Bayern for Kane.
Yeah.
Obviously, I do want
Yeah.
him to get it done.
Oh, I can't wait for these Twitter. I still call it Twitter. The Twitter tweets to
Yeah,
come out
yeah, yeah.
in regards to oh, Harry Kane and Eric Dyer. They leave Tottenham. They get to the Champions League final. I'm waiting for it. But let's go over to our next player. We got a couple, so let's go through them very quickly. Vicario, think it's a keep. No,
Don't need to say
simple
anything.
one.
Yeah.
Very keep. Heung-min Son. Let's talk about this more individually though. Sonny, what are your thoughts? Where do we put him in this list?
Yeah, you got to keep him. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. To be honest, he's one player, and I haven't felt this way in a while. That I just really want to see him just see out the rest of his days in the Spurs shirt. Really, if I can,
Mm,
if he keeps to a level where it's it can work.
10. Yeah.
I love
And
him. I
on the
love
wing.
his loyalty that he's shown to the club, and his loyalty that he's shown to the club has been unbelievable. He could have gone
Yeah.
to any club in the world that he wanted to.
Hmm.
And when Kane tried to force that move to City, he signed a new contract in that same window. Despite the fact that we had Nuno and the club was a
Oh,
mess, he was a shining light of that time, and he's carried us. He's been our big game player for the past decade. When we ever needed a big moment from a big player, Sonny
he's been
stepped
it.
up. Club captain. He's the most likable player we've had in years, probably. And I think from a off the pitch perspective as well, he's so important for the club. He's easily our most recognisable face. Some fans, we won't get into it too much because it's so political, but some fans complain about the sort of Asian fan base that Spurs have developed, particularly on match days. But I think it's so important to where we've grown as a club.
Yeah.
And he's a massive part of that. So I don't want to see him go anywhere, despite the fact that he's actually had still a good season, but he's just patchy. He's just streaky at the minute.
It's
But
just,
I
it's, it's
wouldn't.
just frustrating. I feel like this you can call it second half of the season. The whole team weren't really playing Ange
That's why I'm not
football, and
judging him because
yeah.
it's not just him; it's the whole team that's been crap. Ever since this injury period of
Hmm.
winter time, sort of like November through to like late January, early February, no
Yeah.
one's been the same. I think we've just sort of been limping across trying to get over the finish line. But yeah, there's nothing else to say about Sonny. I don't think
No,
he
I
can go
agree.
anywhere.
I agree. James Maddison, I think that's a straight keep. Not much to talk
Keep.
to him about him. It just be whatever. Everyone has their little bit off times, and yeah,
But this is what we knew what we were
yeah,
buying, by the way, when we did this, because we knew he could be a bit streaky. We knew he
yeah.
had his injuries. It's what
Funny
we
enough,
bought.
I remember. I don't know if you remember this, Josh, but when we did a live stream. I'm pretty sure it was a live stream, and we were talking about James Maddison being linked with Tottenham, and I'm pretty sure you were the one who said yeah, you know what, he might give us, you know, a solid amount of games, but he is going to have his off days and he is going
Yeah.
to have injuries. So yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. He is a keep. Now, Jaffa Tanganga, I'm going to be first one to say it here. I think we need to sell him. I think time's over. Get him out of the club. Be
I
honest.
think
What do you
he's
think?
just come off the back. He didn't play for Augsburg obviously this season, but he's just had a pretty good loan move to Millwall. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
I've seen like the clips on Twitter of the chance they've got for him and stuff. So I think it's time. I think you can get a championship move, most likely to Millwall.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to sell. I feel for Jaffet because he's sort of he broke through at a time where we were in turmoil a little bit at the club. A lot of
Versus
turnover of
Man City,
managers, a lot
no?
of turnover of systems. You know, he looked so bright when he first came through against Liverpool and City, and he had some good cup
Yeah.
performances, but just hasn't happened for him.
Exactly, exactly. I think we are lucky to stay fifth so far because other teams have played just as shit, says Francois. I don't think at the moment any of our players are good for England squad. Mm, next one up is Joe Rodon. By the way, bear in mind some of these players aren't they're from the beginning of the season, so whether or not they've been
Mm.
sold in the winter, you got to bear in mind. Joe Rodon, I'm pretty sure is still a Tottenham player, no?
He is just on loan at
He is.
Leeds at the minute. I don't know if they've got an option, but I
Yeah.
think if they do, even if they don't, they'll probably buy him. I'm
I
pretty
think,
sure he's had a good season.
is this fair to say, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I mean, he's just. I think he's shown now he's just a very good championship player, like low
Yeah,
prem player, but a good championship low prem. So, and I think we
and
can get some good
it's
money for him, especially if Leeds don't
exactly.
go up. I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll bring him back.
Okay, here's a little quick one. Who do you want to come up with in the playoffs?
Who's in it? Is it Leeds? West
I'll
Brom in
tell you
it?
exactly who's in it.
Yeah.
It's Leeds, Southampton, West Brom, and Norwich.
Oh, I don't
Right,
want Norwich
right.
back.
Yes, am I correct? It's the four teams.
Yeah, I
Four
think
teams
so.
yeah. It is. Yeah, who do you think? I'm looking at that West Brom and saying not just because they're the weakest team, but I just want to see them back a little bit in the Prem. No, what do you think?
Yeah, but they used to be such a bogey team against us as well,
Yes,
which is
I
why I don't
know.
want to see West Brom to an extent. But
Well,
um,
Leeds United, we always used to get a high score versus them, and Southampton as
yeah,
well.
Leeds United's always a good game. It's a big club as well. But I hate it, by the way, when people say that certain teams don't belong in the Prem. It really winds me up that when people are like,
Yeah,
"Oh no, the Prem should only ever have the big boys that have always been there." You know, they should
yeah.
always be a lead. Like Leeds and Sunderland and these clubs that always have a right to be in there. That's
That's
completely
nonsense.
destroys the whole point of the pyramid and why the pyramid's
Exactly.
great. Teams like Ipswich getting back-to-back promotions, Luton coming up for the
Mental.
first time is brilliant. Like that's the whole point. I want to see new teams. I'm sick of seeing the same yo-yo teams every single season. I love to see new teams in the league. I think it's so much more fun and enjoyable. Like Luton have been the surprise package of the year, and they might even go back down, or they might manage to make a great escape. But they've been
Yeah.
easily one of the best points to talk about in the whole league this season from that part of the table. So I hate
Hmm.
that elitist mentality. I just want to say that because it really winds me up when people say that certain teams belong in the Prem. No one has
Yeah.
a divine right to be in the league.
Hundred
But yeah, to
percent.
answer the question, probably Leeds. I do
The.
enjoy Leeds in the Prem. I like it's a good fan base. It's a good
Mhm.
stadium. Yeah, I'd be happy to have them back.
Well, yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna also do going obviously much later in a couple months after the transfer window is ended, we are going to have our Premier League predictions. What our thoughts are, and yeah, look, I'll tell you what, I'm very excited to see Ipswich in the Premier League. I
Me
reckon
too.
I reckon they're gonna be like a Burnley or like a that type of player where it's just hard to go to their place. I just reckon they're gonna be it's gonna be uncomfortable going to Ipswich and I don't really know what I'm looking for or looking forward to in next season. Big up to Chris who's joined us. Slash likes have checked data. I know who hasn't. Location yellows. big big up Chris. Big up Chris. Look, next up is Manor Solomon. Now, for me, for me, I think he just simply needs more time. I really do. I don't think it's a keep because he hasn't
Yeah.
done something amazing this season, but I don't think it's a sell because he hasn't been crap.
Yeah, I'm happy to whack him and needs more time. I mean, we haven't really seen him. The most we've seen of Solomon is in pre-season, so it's like there's no data to say whether he should stay or shouldn't stay. So it's fine
Well,
with me.
yeah, I tell you what, and this is not me saying this. I've heard this around, X and Instagram. People like that. People are saying that our best front three is with Solomon inside. I don't really know where they're bringing this from, but
I just don't think
what
you
do
can
you
say
think?
that because he's barely played. So how can you say he's in our
Exactly,
best front three? I think
exactly.
that's
I
so
agree.
probably quite a reactionary thing to say with people at the minute. I think our best front three. I don't. It's probably actually statistically like Werner, Son, and then either Kulu or Johnson right now. Probably ends up being Johnson just of stats, but like
Yeah,
I don't think you can say Solomon's in our best front three. I don't think you can say anything about Man or Solomon at the
I
minute.
agree.
He's not played.
Look, for all we know, Solomon could end up being absolute
It's a
crap.
weird one, isn't it? He's one of those Spurs players. There's always one Spurs player that just gets a weird like cult following for some reason. It's so
Exactly.
strange.
It's for me personally, I just feel like the same reason why I keep Kulusevski is the same reason why I keep Solomon. They're just because both of them are just so different to the other wingers that
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously from based on what I've seen of Solomon in Shakhtar Donetsk and obviously in part time in Fulham. But next one is Mickey Van de Ven. Now talk to me about Mickey. I'm not even telling you where I'm going to put him. Just what are you saying about Mickey Van de Ven here?
I just don't. I never get bored of talking about Mickey Van de Ven. Just like always say, God made him perfect. Like I don't even believe in a God, but if there is a God, then He made him perfect. That man is unbelievable. So good. He is going to be one of the best centre halves in the world. He's already been one of the best in the Prem this season. He is
Yeah.
unbelievable. I just don't understand how someone can be that big, that fast, that strong, that tactically, like have such a high football IQ, be so great on the ball. Like he is just ridiculous. And it's one of those where that is 100 mil centre back right there. Like without saying anything,
So rare to see
don't
that
even
kind of
chat to
thing.
me with 100. I want like 120, like I don't chat to me about just 100. He is so good, and he's just a kid still. Basically, like he's what 22. It's
Yeah.
insane that we got him for 40 million. I think I've got friends that are Liverpool fans, and they were linked to him for years, and they are
Oh
all
my day.
gutted because him and Van Dijk together would be absolutely disgusting. But
What, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I mean, it's shameful from shameless from the Dutch coach, Dutch what's his name, manager, not to put Van de Ven in his best
so people always
starting
go at
11.
Spurs fans. They're like, "Oh, how can your centre backs Romero and Van de Ven be so good, but you concede so many goals?" I'm like, lads, I'm telling you, man, it is like the system. It's this part of it is the system in terms of they're all 1-on-1 all the time, so you're always
Yeah,
going to concede goals. But also, it's who's in front of them at the minute. They have got no protection in front of them. Honestly, Bissouma and
yeah,
Hojberg may as well not be playing when they're on that pitch. It
genuinely.
just runs straight through to the centre halves every time.
You know
So
what? I was playing football the other day. Chris will know this because I was on a stream with him. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I was actually. And I was playing football. And there was this my mate. He's so useless. He's genuinely like a cone. And I was thinking to myself afterwards. I was walking home with my father, explaining to him, and I was like, it's like Bissouma and Hojberg. They're like cones. It's like they don't do much in the game. When they get the ball, it's just a simple pass or something, and they don't do anything, and they commit fouls for no reason. It's like. It's but Van de Ven for me, like Wayne's saying here, ain't going anywhere. Um, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U should be permanently banished from even from English Premier League, and Preston, Croydon Athletic, Red Hill should be gifted a Premier League memberships. Josh, are you interested? Are you interested with a
yeah,
permanent one for?
I literally live to hate Arsenal at the minute. That's all. That's my
Oh.
entire existence is living to hate Arsenal. I'm literally a full time Arsenal hater at the minute. I've never hate watched games like I do with theirs. Every single
I'm
game.
I'm saying this right now. From the previous Arsenal game until probably the end of the season, I'm more of an Arsenal hater than a Tottenham lover. I'll be honest. I'm gonna say this
What
first.
they go hand in hand. They go
Yeah,
hand in
yeah,
hand.
they really do. They
Hating
really
Arsenal is
do.
just as important as loving Spurs.
It really does. Van der Ven hasn't even warmed up yet. I think he's going to be an absolute. I think he can be an absolute player when he's bigger, older. Josh Roy, our left back wizard. Yes, mate. All right. Next one up is Ollie Okay, now I'm actually really interested to hear your thoughts on this. Now, but sorry, before you start, I'm just going to give very quickly what I think. I just think he's a mix of everything. That's why I'm just interested to hear what you think, because I think yes, he is a keep. He's a keep just because of that. What's that rule again? What's it called? Homegrown. One,
Homegrown.
because of the homegrown, but also because he might be able to help us. But then I'm a sell because I just don't think he's helpful. So I'm really, I don't know. What are you saying? What are you saying for him?
I'd be willing to put him in any of the middle three, if you get what I mean. Like, if
Yeah,
I'm happy to sell him if the price is right, happy to give him one more year if Ange wants to see it, or happy for it to loan him out. I think it's just like probably what do you think if the price is right? But like,
yeah. I'm going more towards if the price is right, because you're basically, from what I understand what you're saying he kind of needs more time. But you wouldn't mind seeing him go on loan.
I think we've seen enough
But
of Ollie Skipp to know he's never going to be a top player.
yeah,
But he's just not bad enough to make it necessarily a priority to get him going. But then he's also just taken up a squad spot and we've got so much youth coming through that I'd almost be
yeah.
more wanting to give one of them a chance than to have
Mhm.
him in the squad if he's not going to play and we're going to bring in a centre mid anyway. So
100%. Um, right, Pape Sarr.
yeah, keep.
Maybe a keep, maybe a keep. Pedro Porro. Pedro
Yeah,
Porro.
keep.
Keep, yeah.
Low key
Um,
might be my. I've actually been thinking hard about my player of the season this year because it's been so inconsistent all round, and it's probably either him or Van der Ven for me. Like, but I know Van der Ven's been injured, but he's just been that level that he's just been
yeah,
unbelievable. But Porro has been Mr. Consistent for us this season. I know he's had a bit of a clanger of the past couple of games, but who hasn't? But Porro
yeah.
has been unbelievable all season long for us. He's always been there. When Maddison was out, he took on the creative responsibility. His defending has gotten so much better. I mean, I know he struggled against in the past couple of games, but like I said, who hasn't? But overall, I think he has come on leaps and bounds far more than I thought he ever could this year.
I'm trying to see what his average sofa score is this season. Sorry,
Is
and
he still, what is it, like
I mean,
8 assists in the Premier League as well?
oh, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what he's got. Pedro Porro stats. He's got 1 goal, 7 assists in this Premier League season. But more importantly, though, I mean, yeah, that does show that he maybe lacked a little bit. But what do you think his sofa score is? Because I tell you what, but everyone knows how hard it is to get a decent sofa
Yeah, I'd have gone like
score.
7.2, 7.3.
Um, yeah, bang on. I mean, we're not bang on, but 7.34. So, I
Yeah.
mean, a right back, not too bad. Pretty consistent, no?
He's been so consistent. Like he's been consistently brilliant all season. It's only Arsenal fans ramming it down people's throats how good Ben White is, which is the reason he's not being talked about as the best left back in the Prem this season. Like he's
Yeah,
been fantastic. I couldn't have asked for much
trust.
more from Porro this season individually.
I agree. Oh no, I tried to paste the the image to Google, but whatever, it's all good. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Big up to Aaron Bailey who's in the chat. Big up to all the Instagram people who've joined us as well. Okay, let's continue. Pierre-Emile Hojberg. Now, I know where I'm putting him. Where are you putting him?
I'm fine to put him in Saleh Sat, but if you were like thinking about not
No,
putting him there, it's if the
I
price is right, you know. But
I agree with you. I agree with
just
you.
because
So
his time has been and gone. He's actually been an okay servant overall. If you look at his time at Spurs, like he's been fine, but it's just time. I think it's time to move on now. He's just
I
clearly
agree.
not going to fit the system. I don't think Ange likes him that much, and
You know,
not even that. Ange just said he's willing to put him in when he's performed well in training, but he's come in and had two howlers. If we're being real,
he really
um,
has.
yeah,
It's a
he's probably
shame,
not
no?
as bad as people actually think he is now because of those two howlers. People are going to be like, "Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible." He's not as bad as people will make out, but I think it's time to move him on.
I 100% agree. I think, you know what, he's come and done his job. Left now. It's time to leave. Guys, once again, smash the subscribe button. We are trying to grow as much as possible in this channel. Josh, myself, and Matt are going to be gifting you guys with so much content coming up to the transfer window. So don't miss out on anything. Just subscribe and drop a like on this video. PH wants to go, so cash in. Yeah, I think Hojberg also wants to go. And yeah, Dragusin. I mean, we all know what he's got. We have to keep him. But
Yeah,
what do you think of Dragusin this season?
I feel so bad for him. I
I
feel
feel so
so
bad.
bad for him. I think everyone in the fan base can't believe that he hasn't played at least one of these past 4 games. Like
Why do you think this is?
right now, he could be in a semi-final playing tonight for Bayern Munich, but instead he's sat on our bench. Like,
Mental.
and I feel so bad for him. I complained about his agent when we first bought him that his agent wouldn't shut up, but now I understand. I sort of forgive his agent for speaking up in the past couple of weeks because
Mm,
his treatment's been quite poor, to be honest.
yeah. No, I
Like,
agree. I
why
think
buy him? Clearly,
still.
Ange sanctioned this move. Why did we buy him if we weren't going to put him in any fixtures? Unless if Van der Ven could play left back, I refuse to believe anyone's saying that Van der Ven couldn't play left back. Van der Ven can play left back. He's played left back before for Wolfsburg. Put him there. Put Dragusin in centre back. I don't want to see Emerson Royale playing out of position.
Yeah, but
I don't want to see it.
even if you don't have to put Mickey Van Ven on left. You can put play Dragusin for all I care. Just give him the game time. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you want? What do you want from Dragusin to do? I bet you he's training. He's training well. I mean, why is he not training well? He's putting in the effort, but just give him some game time.
Well,
And you know
but
what?
you can't stop
Yeah,
conceding set pieces. You've got one of the
exactly.
best aerial players in Serie A this season sat on the bench. It's just like
Mental.
it's not rocket science. It's like just put him in. I don't care if you have to change the system. If you're getting
Yep.
battered in set pieces every week like we are, just until there's a bit of stability, put him in. Don't put
Mhm.
Emerson on the pitch or Davies on the pitch if you're getting battered and dominated in the air like we are at the minute. Just put
Yep.
him in.
Like it's what Aaron's saying. It makes no sense. And you know what? It's sad because we've been doing this for a couple seasons now. A couple seasons. We've already signed 2 players like this now. Jed Spence, which I kind of understand. All right, I understand your point, but still, Jed Spence, we haven't given him game time, and now Dragusin. And I'm pretty sure there's another player on my mind. I just can't. I don't. I'm not really thinking of the player right now, but. There's another player in my mind that's also been like this that we haven't really given much chance. Um, but yeah, so look, it is what it is. Now, here's an interesting one. Once again, I'm gonna make you go first. What are you doing with Richie? Are you saying needs more time? Which I'm leaning towards, but I wouldn't mind if the price is right.
I'm
What
leaning
are you
towards
saying?
if the price is right.
Yeah,
Because there's rumours today that Saudi are willing to basically get us our money back.
yeah,
And I think if they're willing to basically give the money back or even close to it, you snatch their hands off and you say, sorry, Richie, I hope you enjoy the sun. Because you can't pass up that opportunity. He's not ever going to be the player that we thought we might buy. I think he used to be sort of a 10 to 12 goal player at Everton. And we thought, in
mm,
our squad, with our style of play, maybe he'll break that sort of 15 to 18 mark. It's just not going to happen, is it? And while he's still Brazil number 9, and we bang on about that all the time as like our selling point for Richie. But while he's still there, I think it's probably time to sell him if we can get the right money. But if you can't get the
yeah,
right money, just keep him around if you have to. Like, he can play on the left, he can play central. It's not one where I'm like kicking him out the door. But if someone gives
yeah.
me the money, yeah, kick him out the door.
I think he's a perfect player for this category. Like genuinely, I don't know another player who's better than for this
Yeah.
category. Richie Keep or sell either way as long as we get a quality striker in. That's the question that we were saying at the beginning, whether or not, we could have played with 3-4. Rodrigo Bentancur, is this a keep for you?
Yeah, it's a keep for me. He's only just come back from his
Oh,
ACL, which I think
there's a little bit of
it's one of those
there was
where
a
he
little
has been
hesitation
pretty
there though.
poor. No, he's just been pretty poor, hasn't he, since he's come back? But I almost forgot for a second that he just come back from the ACL. Like, Bentancur has shown his quality enough, I think, to justify another season at least.
Yeah.
And hopefully he gets a fully fit season because we were so excited for him to come back. And he even straight away when he come back, he was the best player on the pitch against Villa, and then he got injured again. And I just feel so bad for him. It's been so start-stop for him, and he's come back into the team at a time where we're struggling as a club, almost at the
Yeah.
minute. So I feel bad for him. It's not his fault.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think next one is up. Ryan. We all
Gotta
agree
sell.
here.
Time to go.
Got so Regulon.
I'm
Is he out
honestly
play or
so
is he on
gutted for
loan?
him, and I feel so bad for him. But it's just you can't have a player on your books that literally can't get fit for more than half an hour. He came
I'm
back in
pretty
that,
sure
what
it's
was it,
these
under
two.
21s game,
These
and
two
he was
go.
straight injured again.
These two go alike to like for me. A half decent or a pretty good championship player, not a prem level, like a low prem.
Well, I feel like Sessegnon could have been, but he's just the poor
He's
bloke
injured
just
constantly.
can't stay on a pitch.
For no reason. It's just annoying. Regulon, is he our player still? Yeah, he is our player.
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
right.
still.
Yeah.
I think again, time to sell.
Yep. Time to
Ange
go.
Keep doesn't like him.
Do you? A quick question though. Do you not think he kind of suits Ange position in terms of he
I would have
could play
thought
the
so, but
inverted?
he's also pretty weak defensively. He's pretty
Yeah,
frail
and his
defensively.
finishing. Let's not forget about his finishing. His finishing
If
is
you think about how
awful.
physical, if you think about how physical Udogie is and how Udogie plays on the turn and driving past players, Reggie can't do that.
Yeah.
Especially going inside, he can't do that.
100%. Damn, I keep forgetting Sessions at our club, mate. Look how many players we got to sell. It's got more. Ndombele, bang it, right? I mean, it's
One more
straight here.
chance. No.
All right, we're gonna put it. No. We're doing more.
It's time to go. I'm handing in my Ndombele fan club membership. Like I'm done with him now. But it just kills me because he's so talented. He's so talented. It really
He
actually
really is.
annoys me how someone can be that good at football but care that little and put in that little effort.
It's sad. It's sad. I mean, he really is talented. He's got everything to be such a good footballer. And he just
He's got it all.
it.
Genuinely, for a centre midfielder, he's got it all. But he just doesn't have the mentality to use it.
Yep. I Werner. We've now finished off the Premier League season with Timo. Essentially, Timo is finished with us because he's got injured. Let me very quick. Timo Werner obviously came from RB Leipzig, and he's got himself in 13 matches. He got 2 goals, 3 assists, and he's been quite influential in the games. What are your thoughts on him? Do you think we should keep him, sell him?
He's done better than I thought he would in terms of his output. I think he fits really well in the system. Ange clearly likes him. I think Werner's made it pretty clear that he wants to stay. It's a cheap price. And like I said, we just don't know whether Solomon's going to come back, what Solomon's even going to do.
Is he going to be good? Is he going to be bad?
I'm fine with keeping him. I think
I agree.
at that price, it's the price, isn't it? That's really the reason. If he was like 20 plus, probably not. But it's the price. It's so
what's the price
cheap.
again? 17.3. No?
Yeah, but that's in euros. I think it's like 15 million pounds, 40 million pounds, which is just
I agree. I think we should. Now, Yves Bissouma. Funny enough. By the way, Josh, have you met Ellie before? Maybe have you met her before? She came on stream a couple times. Anyway, she came on stream yesterday, and we were talking about Yves Bissouma, and she's very upset with Bissouma, obviously, and like how a lot of our fan bases. But the question for me to you is, and we just recently did a video about it, guys, go check it out. Do we sell Bissouma? Do we keep Bissouma if the price is right? Do we sell him? I think go on loan is completely out of it, but it's either 4 of these. 3 of these. 4 of these.
I mean, there's been rumours today. I don't know if it was from Paul Keep, but I think it might have been that the club are willing to listen to offers for Biss.
Yeah, I also saw that.
And I completely get it because he's so inconsistent and he's just almost so nonchalant when he plays. It's a big strength of his when it works, but it's completely damning for the team when it doesn't. And he was really developing a nice partnership with Sarr in the early parts of the season, but that seems to just fallen apart. because Ange chops and changes the midfield quite a lot at the minute, because I think the midfield has been a bit of a problem recently in
Yeah.
terms of actually grabbing control of a game. And if someone was willing to give us, what did we pay for this? Like, what's that, 20? So we didn't even pay a lot for him. If someone was sort of
Not a
willing
lot
to
at
give
all.
us that money or a bit more, then I think I'm okay with him going, because we're going to bring in
So
someone else.
are we saying if the price is right?
Yeah, if the price is right, I think so. But I'm not like
Yeah.
pushing him out the door. You know, like if he stayed, I wouldn't be too upset. He is not a he's
That's
not an
harsh.
Ndombele type player. That's
That's
harsh.
really harsh. I mean,
That's
look,
really harsh.
you know what? By the way, this I do remember this. What Ellie said. She said, and I'm gonna get your thoughts on this. She said that basically, Biss off the ball is really poor in terms of his tracking back, his lack of running. It's really poor. Do you think that's poor of him, or do you think it's just him on the ball is poor?
Part of it is poor because we've seen him at Brighton, so we know that he can actually. It's not his like lack of football IQ that he doesn't know where to put himself, or he doesn't know how to win the ball back. Like he does, he clearly
Yeah.
does.
Hmm.
But I think part of it is confidence. But I just think I don't know with this because it's so hard to like. I think he's like. I just can't explain it because
Yeah.
this will make you think. He'll make football look so easy. He'll make it look like it's the easiest sport in the world because he'll just take the ball, nonchalantly turn someone, twist someone else up, and then lay it
Yeah.
off. But then other times he'll take the ball, he'll stand there
Oh.
like a pleb for about 5 seconds, invite the pressure, and then miss a 5-yard pass and put us on the defensive counter. Like
Hmm.
it's such a strange Jekyll and Hyde act that he performs at the minute when he plays football. And you just can't have that, I don't think, at the minute.
Yeah.
If you look at the best teams in the league right now, you've got Rodri at City and Declan Rice. I'm not mentioning the other guy, Arsenal, fuck him. You got those two, and they are absolute animals, and they never lose the ball. They're physically dominant, they're aerially dominant, they clean up everything.
Yeah.
And like Lewis just said, they do the basics perfectly. Biss doesn't do the basics perfectly. He does the extras very well, but he doesn't do the basics enough. And you just can't do that at top level football, especially
You
when
know
you're
what?
playing in a high intensity possession based style where you're camping in the opposition half.
I look. I mean, for me, the perfect player, and Josh, you'll be very proud of me for saying this player. But the player for me that I just like. I was watching a couple YouTube clips yesterday about him, and he would suit Ange perfectly. It's Steve Perryman. You know, back then. I mean, see, I done my homework there, Josh. Look at you. Huh? Do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Go on.
Of course,
I
I
don't
think
think you
Steve
know. I
Perryman
don't think
is.
you know who he is. I don't know. But look, no. Genuinely, I was watching videos of his. And he's the type of CDM that that Bissouma for me isn't. I mean, he doesn't drive the ball forward like he would. His shooting, Bissouma's shooting compared to Steve's, is completely different. Obviously, yeah, back then game was completely different. But point is that for me, if the price is right, I sell him. I kind of agree with you. And by the way, chat, I did get that from Ellie, so big up Ellie for giving me the player. If I like Bissouma, but he's got to have to step up big time if he knuckles down. Moussa Dembele would be perfect.
The
Wow,
king.
wow.
The king.
For me, the okay, maybe not Harry Kane is and Shimon Son's up there, but for me, the third, my favorite player at Tottenham Hotspur ever. Genuinely, I
I've
think.
never enjoyed watching a footballer. Other than Bale is the most I've enjoyed ever watching someone play in a Tottenham shirt, but Moussa Dembele is a close second. What a man.
Oh,
Ange would have adored him.
I mean, he'd be perfect. Damn it, Ange, why'd
They
you
don't
come too
make him
late?
like it. Like, honestly, I've never seen anything like him since. I've never seen anything like him before. Like, it's
uh,
completely
oh,
unique.
oh no, oh no. Did I close that?
You just
Oh, good.
deleted the tier list.
No, 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 no. It's back. It's back. It's back. Um, Now next up we have got Brennan Johnson. What are we saying?
Yeah, keep. Like, we've been campaigning for this man all year, and we were right. I'm telling you, like, it's
I'm going more here. I'll be honest.
You could
I'm
what
going
you
more in
what
full
needs
time.
more time? What you consider selling it? Like you'd actually consider
No,
it?
no, 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 no. I think he needs more time from the fan base in terms of a lot of the fan base are going on him in terms of he's a
I think the fan
wasted
base needs to
60
leave
mil.
him the fuck alone. I think he's been absolutely
Alright,
fine.
alright, alright. I was trying to make the
No,
teamwork a little
no,
bit
you can put
nicer,
him
but
in need more time. Like, I'm happy with that. But I
yeah,
guess so. I guess he does need more time to ingratiate himself in the fan base. But
I will
people,
be
I
putting him
swear
in.
to God, man, it's like you'd think that we're putting Emerson at right wing. The way people talk about him, like it's like he's some sort of donut that can't kick a
I
ball.
know, right?
Like seriously,
Mhm.
his goals and assists this season have been fantastic. He's not even supposed to be starting this season. And just said it multiple times. He's not even supposed to be playing right now. Really, he's supposed to be a super sub. And when he has been a super sub, he's been fantastic when he's come on a football pitch, and he's completely changed the games that he's come on in.
Josh, I want to ask you really. By the way, guys, this is we don't have any more players. Eric Dyer's gone and Perisic is gone. But I'll go at this. But Josh, do you think this is a weird question? But do you think that us as fans, we see the game in a completely different vision, and at points and at times we are correct ahead of the manager? Do you think that, or do you think the manager knows everything, and everything we say the manager already knows? So there's no point of us saying anything.
I think sometimes maybe the manager can be sort of too connected to the group, or obviously they see everything completely differently to the way we see it. Like no manager will actually see things the way the fans see it because they're in training every day. They know the players personally. They see
Yeah,
every kick of the ball essentially. Well, most of them do anyway. That these players would do, and they'll know the dynamics of the changing room. And I just think sometimes fans have ideas, and those ideas, I'm sure the managers do have the same ideas, but there's probably reasons in those managers' head that those ideas don't come to fruition actually on a football pitch, like the Van der Ven at left back. There's clearly a reason Ange won't play him there that we don't know and that we can't see as a fan base or as, as spectators.
yep,
But I just think it's one of those where I mean, I've got so much trust in Ange now. But I don't really
yeah,
question his decisions. Other than that sort of Emerson one, that's the only time I've really questioned decision and his stubbornness. But I
yeah.
trust him.
I mean,
Yeah.
I tell you what, if Arsenal were able to suffer in eighth position for around 2 seasons, then jump to fifth or fourth or
It's
wherever they
time, it's a
were.
process. It's season one.
Exactly,
And we're ahead of
exactly.
schedule.
We are way ahead of schedule. We really are. And you know what? And next season, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of like finish sixth or fifth. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't
Right, you
because
keep saying it
we
with
shouldn't be.
Newcastle.
Yeah, we look. Yeah, exactly. Look at our neighbours down there, Newcastle. I mean, they were unbelievable last season. Here's a question from Lewis McKenzie. Um, would you not give Jet Spence time as a pro backup?
Not for me.
Yeah,
I don't think he's got the. Well, I mean, maybe he's got some aspects of the profile that would fit, but it's his attitude. I don't think he would mesh well with the group, and I just think if 3, 4 managers have said that they don't fancy you and that he's been sent back from loan from Leeds because of his attitude and his lack of commitment, I don't
yeah,
want you at my club. And I certainly don't want you influencing those around you, to be honest.
exactly. Well, look, lads, we're going to get to the last final comments. I'm wondering if Ange has suffered the Tottenham curse, relying on the same players till they're worn out and their form dips. I don't know. I think they're new players, so it's hard. It's hard to say they're the same players. Agree, Ange knows more, but there is something to say about being too connected. Where if they aren't performing games, but they hope they will. Emerson. Also, another question: why do we not whack Mickey left back and Madu centre back? That's the question we're all asking. Most likely Ange has a decent reason to that, but I'm just hoping he learns from mistake and we don't go over it. Now, Josh, obviously this is a combined tier list. Just a personal touch on this. What would you change? Would you change anything?
I wouldn't say there's much there that I'd
Maybe the Brennan
change.
Johnson, you'd say. Maybe the Brennan Johnson to keep.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, but it's one of those where it's like, yeah, there's none of those players in Keep that I would even consider selling. Like if someone came in with like 35 or 40 million and a bit of profit on Kulu, I still don't think I'd take it. I don't think it's worth it right now. Same
Yeah.
with Davies. I think there's going to be so many moving cogs in this summer that you have to keep some sort of pillars of the team in place before you can move some of those older guard on. And how many players have
Yeah.
we got in the sell? What, like 8, 9? I think that's about right.
We got
I
9 players
think
in
from
the
reports of the
cell.
club,
Yeah.
that's what they want as well. I think that's about right for what we should be losing.
Exactly. And I can genuinely see every single player in that cell being sold.
I don't think any of
Bar
those players will be at the club next year.
Yeah, I'd say that bar Gill, because maybe we could see. Oh no, maybe bar Gill and a couple other players there that could be going on loan. But
Yeah. I
they
just
would
mean playing
most like.
football for Spurs. I don't think we'll see
Yeah,
them play football in a Tottenham shirt next year. And I think a couple of those in the Price is Right
exactly,
players will go. I genuinely do. I think at least one of them,
exactly.
maybe two.
And by the way, I think both of these players, Alejo Vélez and Ashley Phillips, could both go. Also need more time. But at the end of the day, I think they are going to go to another loan. Johnson and Timo change spots. Johnson and Timo. Johnson and Timo. Yeah, but we can't really give Timo more time. I mean, that's all we got.
Yeah,
But look,
if it's
Josh.
more time,
Yeah,
then you keep him because you got to buy him.
exactly. That's really it. So Josh, obviously, once again, thank you very much for joining me in today's live stream. It's been a very different. It's been a different one. It's been nice to have the two Joshes on the stream. Big up to
Yeah.
everyone who's joined us. Thank you so much for the likes and the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are on. We've just hit 1,600, and right now we're 1,617 subscribers. So big up to yourselves. Josh and I very much appreciate it. And Matt, we will see you guys in the next live stream. Make sure to smash the subscribe button, drop a like on this video. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Come on, Spurs.